Hello and welcome to the Around the Ballpark podcast on YouTube and Facebook. Glad to have you here for episode number 126 here on your Sunday evening, December the 7th. You might be watching football in the background. The Houston Texans and the Kansas City Chiefs have what I feel is a must-win the way they've played lately. But we're glad that you either have us on in the background or you have us on or whatever the case may be. We thank you that you are here. How are you doing, Darren? We are full swing into December. Holidays, the Thanksgiving is past. We're getting closer to Christmas. The weather is probably feeling Christmassy by you by now. They say winter doesn't begin until December 21st, but you don't tell that to anybody that lives anywhere near where you guys live or Buffalo or anything like that because winter has already happened.
100,000%. Yeah, it was 16 degrees or so the other day when I woke up. 14. Yep.
14. Yep. Oh, I got a small thing I got to grab real quick, unexpectedly. Give me 10 seconds.
All right. Greetings and salutations, folks. This is me. And this is me with my hands this way. This is me with my hands like this. So what do you guys think of football today? Anybody have any thought? What is that? Ooh, there we go. Almost saw him. So I'm going to share a little secret with you guys. Ready?
Okay.
This is just between us guys, whoever's out there. I should be, because for the podcast, right? I should be watching the Kansas City Chiefs play the Houston Texans, right? But no, because of Mike Redmond, I'm watching Stranger Things. And season 1, episode 6. So I want to get it all done so I can watch that final episode when everybody else does.
So you're on season 1, episode 6, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're definitely getting into the good meat and potatoes.
Yes.
I think most people will say that in their order of preference, it's 1, 3, 2, 4. Most people put it in that order. So I think you'll like 1 and 3 the best, but 1 is everyone's favorite. It's the one that hooked everybody into the series. And it's kind of cool to see some of the actors, I'm sure, in there that you may or may not recognize. And to see them now in season 5, how much they've aged in 4 seasons is pretty crazy. But that's because they had so much time in between the seasons.
Like you mentioned, like The Sopranos. So, right? That's because big gaps of time.
Yep. So, but I'm glad. I'm excited. So you'll have to continue to, as it gets further along and stuff. We watched the first 2 episodes, but we were kind of distracted. So I'll probably pick a night here and just watch all the 4 that they released so far. Before that, I think the next set comes out right around Christmas, and then the final one is right there on New Year's Eve, I believe. So, and I see Ed's on there. Thank you for joining us, Ed. I know we're a little bit later than our usual start time. That's okay. But before we do anything else, we have to give a shout out to our sponsors over at National Tax Solutions, who we had so much fun with riding in the parade last night. So much fun. Probably over 15,000 people in attendance. Eileen had the time of her life up there standing in the back of the truck, and she was shouting out all things around the ballpark, all things National Tax Solutions. We had about 5,000 flyers passed out. We ran out of candy so early. Like, we got a good amount of candy, but the amount of kids there, we didn't even make it a quarter of the mile before we ran out of candy. It was just so many children there. And we weren't even just giving it to everybody. We were sporadic with it. And it just was crazy. So I'll try to share a couple video or a clip before the end of this podcast if I'm able to. So much fun. It was not cold weather. It was pretty warm weather. But so much fun. We got to hear the 8 different songs on loop that she kept hitting and playing and stuff. And believe it or not, Darren, the most popular song of all 8 that we did, that was the biggest hit, was the Timmy Trumpet Edwin Diaz
that's
theme.
great.
That one went over well every single time she played it, and the fans were interacting. So that was really cool to see.
That.
We tried to do the OMG from obviously he's not with the team anymore, but it was so much bass on that song that it wouldn't play with our speakers. It kept shutting the lights off as we were driving down the road. So, yeah. And so she said, yep, definitely more candy next year for sure.
Always okay to promote candy.
Yes, but if you wouldn't mind.
Hey, Mike, I wanted to ask you something. Hey, if you're dealing with tax issues, maybe you're behind on your filings or you got hit with a lien, let me tell you about Nashville Tax Solutions. They've been a sponsor with us since the jump, and they're wonderful people. These folks know their stuff, and they actually care about helping you fix it. I've heard from many people, can't wait to get down in Palm Bay, talk to some more from Palm Bay, Fort Pierce, who say Chris Bennett and his team turned a financial nightmare into peace of mind. And, that's the kind of help you want on your side, especially during the holiday season. So if tax stress is keeping you up, call 855-627-4829. Visit NashvilleTaxSolutions.com or email info@NashvilleTaxSolutions.com. Nashville Tax Solutions, real people who get real results.
Thank you. And, it was great. I got to meet some of the team members from Nashville Tax as well. They made the drive. It was about an hour or so drive, so not too bad for them. But the hard part with these parades is you got to get in the staging area at like 2:00, and it doesn't start till almost 6:30. So there's a lot of downtime. Like you're just kind of sitting there. And we were float number 22 out of 101. So I can't imagine how much downtime. Like it ended at 10. So if you were like float number 101, you were really way in the back there, But it was really cool. We had the Family Christmas Extravaganza. Then we had Z88.3. We had Chick-fil-A, and then of course our float there. And it's cool. Like then we get towards the end, you actually get to go right in front of City Hall and do a little performance and stuff. And I think our little team was wiped out because the energy level was not there that it was throughout the rest of the parade. By the time we got to that last spot, they were exhausted. I guess there's only a few of us, walking with them, but so much fun. I think Eileen loved being up there. It's been fun doing extravaganza all these years, but it was kind of nice to be able to do this and just get the word out there, pass out the flyers, give them candy. And she was sharing what our, where they can find us, all that good stuff. So
that's awesome. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah. So much fun. Yep. And hopefully next time we'll do it again. We've already got some ideas how to make it bigger, better. Maybe get some of those squishy balls that we can throw out into the. Actually, you can't throw things out. You can hand things out, but they frown upon throwing things into the crowd apparently. So we won't be able to do that, but that's okay. But yeah, over 15,000 people there.
That's
and
awesome.
So much fun. So yeah, and then as you alluded to, of course, we're sitting here December the 7th. The Family Christmas Extravaganza is a week from this Saturday, so we are less than 2 weeks away.
Unbelievable.
From the event. Unbelievable is right. I can't. The day before, I'll be there 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. getting everything ready and probably get my 30,000 steps in that day. It's going to be amazing. But so much moving parts still in these last 2 weeks. But couldn't have it any other way. It's going to be so much fun. And again, we're going to be in a prime spot. You'll be able to come meet us. You'll be able to get to throw. We've got 6 people now on our dunk tank team, so that's going to be cool. Make a little schedule of that. And it's going to be great. So I do have that clip for you guys. I just want to make sure that I can get it here. So just give me a second. I want to go ahead and share that with you here. So it's going to start with the Christmas Extravaganza, their performance right there in City Hall, and then you'll see us shortly after in the video. And I believe we're good on, although we don't own the rights to the music that are in the video, I think we'll be good there. So let me go ahead and share my screen here in just a moment so everybody watching along, and then we'll get into Shea Stadium right after that because I'm sure that's why some of you are here. But yes, Eileen was having to say 1-855 Nash Tax probably 150,000 times in the night there. So let me see here. Okay, that is not it. Let's see. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Make sure it works. And so here we are, is the family Christmas extravaganza. And we got some great stuff there. Kind of just saying, just for copyright purposes, I'll continue along. But that is Daly in the truck with Eddie Frost. Daly on the right here is our winner from last year's performance for Extravaganza's Got Talent. So she was having a great time up there, and they did a cool little skit right there by the truck as well. So buffering just a little bit, but yeah, fun little dance and stuff, so much energy. And then eventually here you'll get to ours for On the Ballpark and National Tax Solutions. Not as much energy, but we were happy to be there. See if we can get there. It looks like it's lagging just a little bit. Here we are. National Tax Solutions, small beginnings, right there. Walking around, doing our thing, just a few of us. Just there in the truck, doing his thing, clapping along. Good stuff. You know, one thing that I found funny, Darren, is, let me stop. Let me hit stop sharing. Okay. No longer sharing, correct? Not there anymore.
No longer sharing. We're here.
So when we were choosing on what song we were going to do at the end, a lot of the folks did not know the words to Take Me Out to the Ball Game. I was shocked to hear that. So we went with Sweet Caroline, but I think they were tired by the end of the video or by the end of the walk. It was almost a 3-mile walk, but it felt like an eternity. Like, I've done long walks before, but with the humidity and stop and start and stop and start, it was a long thing. Yeah. So I'm feeling it today, but so super cool. So we're going to continue on. I did want to, just go over with you. We had talked about before we came on here, you had seen some movies recently and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'll be going to see Predator Badlands tomorrow on my day off. So not sure if that's something you've seen just yet or was on your radar.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yes.
Okay. What are your thoughts on that? Either way, I'm still going to see it. So I'm curious. I didn't get to see your reviews of that. And
what do you think? What do you think of this series in general?
I think it's hit or miss, I think is the right word to describe it. I think none of them were terrible, but none of them were great and none of them were terrible. I think it's all been like a little roller coaster for me. So I'm interested to see this installment, but
so the first one, as you know, is a standalone, in my opinion. Standalone. It is what it is. It's like one of those 80s movies. This one I found far superior than the other recent ones because it takes a direction, a little bit of humor, a little bit of more storytelling, and you'll see what I mean once you see it. I did a review of it.
Okay.
And you'll think you'll like it. Let's put it this way. The interplay is very, very good.
Okay. That's awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to it. So I'll let you know. We'll talk more about it after I see it. But yeah, Eileen says she loves the Predator storyline. I remember, I think, and I could be wrong, if it was Alien or Predator, but when we actually visited Patricia up there in New York, we did like an outdoor. The one time we were at the house, we did this like outdoor thing, and I forget if it was Alien or Predator. I think it was Predator. And that was the movie. We let Aiden pick the movie, and that was the one he picked, and we watched it outside. And it was a really nice time.
Well, that's cool.
But it's been a while. And just in case folks that are watching, if there's any buffering issues, we are in the middle of about to have a really bad thunderstorm passing through here shortly. So if you lose me for a moment, it's okay. It's just the Florida weather. We're finally going to get a mini cold front after this. That's supposed to last for like 5 or 6 days. So it always happens. We have to get this rainstorm first, and then the weather cools down. So, Darren, we're here to talk about why we love Shea Stadium so much. You saw in the thumbnail, it says the top 10 things you miss about Shea Stadium. It's really more of a generic number. It doesn't mean there's exactly 10. So we each have probably our own memories that why we enjoy it so much and what we think about when it goes to it. Obviously that is the number one. That comes to mind first and foremost, in terms of memories and things like that. I remember where I was that day where he parachuted game 5 of the World Series. Everybody else remember the game 6 one and everything like that, but this was Paddington at his finest. Really enjoyed himself there. He really wishes that Citi Field wasn't a thing. He was a big Shea Stadium guy,
as you should be. But
as you should be. Yeah.
As you know, I think the big takeaway from this was the fact that it was wild. Put that back up for a second if you can. That it was wild that he did the parachute jump into Shea Stadium game 5. But when you looked up, he's not wearing pants.
He's still not wearing pants. Yeah.
No, and you're looking up, if you know what I mean. It's just not good. This
is a family show. It's not good.
It's not covering eyes. Yeah. But he's my pal. He's my pal. My Sundays, my Thursdays are only complete if we see our buddy on.
We got to see him, and I'm glad to know he was here supporting the Mets there at Shea Stadium. So completely unheard of. Yes. So we're gonna hit it. I've got some photos here. I'm gonna show them on the screen, and we're gonna just have a little bit of fun. Memories of Shea Stadium. So of course we got to start with the good old RC Cola. So they were sponsored, I think it was up till 1991. I think they went to Coca-Cola after that. But, we've joked on the show in the earlier episodes about how it kind of disintegrates, the cup and stuff. I actually just enjoyed a refreshing RC Cola 2 days ago at the Dollar General here again. They have other flavors like berries and cream and stuff. Like with Dr. Peppers and stuff, some of those other flavors make it better. RC Cola, it's just the original. The other ones don't measure up.
Stick with what works. Agreed. Yes. Great can. RC, it just pops. RC Cola is great.
Yes. Do they sell it by you at all? I don't know if they have Dollar Generals up there. No.
No, they have Dollar Generals, but I don't see it on the shelves.
Okay. So we'll have to see some here. We'll have to have the house stock.
Whatever happened to CNC Cola?
Yes, and Ed says the best drink of all. It's the best drink. I don't know.
He's not wrong. Ed, you're not wrong.
Yep, definitely would prefer it to. I was never really a soda guy, but it was never in the Mountain Dew. That was never my thing. Like I just never wasn't gross, but I just never was a Mountain Dew guy. But I was always a Pepsi. I'm not going to pick if all the sodas are on the table, Coca-Cola is probably one of the ones I'll pick the least, but I was always a Pepsi guy. So I think that's why I enjoyed RC Cola so much. But you said you don't have it in Tennessee. That's a shame. I thought it would be, I wonder if it is just a South thing here by Florida, Georgia, all that stuff. But they're always stocked with it.
I'm going to give another look when I'm in Dollar General. It's one right near the house that I run. So I got to give it a look.
So, but of course, you can't talk Shea Stadium, another big moment. We think of other events that happen at Shea Stadium, and Billy Joel was always on my list of artists that I would put on like that top 3 or top 5 that I haven't seen in person. But share a little bit about if you remember this memory, and stuff. I know I saw he came to Florida about 2 years ago. It was like $250 tickets was like for nosebleeds and stuff. But what do you remember about that? Because it was a pretty significant. It was the second biggest concert that they've done at Shea Stadium, and we'll talk about the other one here in a few minutes. But do you remember kind of anything around the hype around that?
I could talk for days about it because I remember he actually did prior to the farewell concert at Shea Stadium. He performed, I think, that once or twice with Elton John, which was amazing. And I always looked at Billy as a Yankee fan, but he did the Mets beautiful justice. I remember going to his concert when it was Game 6, 1986 against the Astros. He wouldn't go on until he finished watching the game, which was great. And then you know how Billy Joel ended his last concert there, right?
I do not.
So here's what he did. You got to watch the documentary. It's great. So there are very few people more iconic than Billy Joel who played Shea Stadium. But because Billy Joel knows how to make things happen, right? And he knows the power of the moment and memories. Shea Stadium shutting down. What was the one concert? Do you know the one concert? And then I'm sure you know it. What was the one concert that put Shea Stadium on the map?
So yes, so we know the go ahead. We might as well show it there on the screen. Yeah.
Yep. Now here's the thing. Last song or second to last song of the night, Billy Joel brings out Paul McCartney. And Paul McCartney sings, I Saw Her Standing There. And he tells this great story about how they were able to get him in there in time, right through customs. And it was a nice performance by Paul McCartney. And people were blown away that he was there to close it out. It was just great.
Wow. So because by then, like usually if they bring someone out, it's way before then. It's midpoint. It's second song or something like that. So to save the surprise for that late, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I got to ask you, Darren, because I know your history with the song. So your thoughts there. I wouldn't put it as the top, although it's one of my favorite songs to, I still know all the lyrics to this day in 2025. But Burger Man says,
yes.
You Didn't Start the Fire is the best Billy Joel song. I'd put it in the top 3. I wouldn't put it at number 1, but.
It's in my top 3, my top 5. I would say for me, there's no song for me by Billy Joel better than Vienna. Slow Down, You Crazy Child. That's just such a great song. But no, don't get me wrong. I mean, you don't kick. We Didn't Start the Fire. That's a great song. I mean, it's on the Mount Rushmore for me. From that time period, I also liked Downeaster Alexa because that really hit home. I love Say Goodbye to Hollywood. I love The Ballad of Billy the Kid. I love You're My Home. I'm a huge fan. Piano Man is great.
Piano Man is great. And I love, like, on the cruise ship, I've been able to hear it perform live, like the piano bar and whatnot. And although they don't do it completely justice, when they do it the right way with all the right instruments, not just the piano, it definitely hits no matter what. So that's for me is my top for sure. Piano Man. It's Piano Man, and then 2, 3, 4 is like on a separate level in terms of my opinion. Just me. So, but so another thing, of course, now in the show the Shea Apple here. So we know that the Shea Apple has moved over to Citi Field, but it's not the exact same Shea Apple. The original was a little bit smaller and all that sort of stuff. But talk a little bit about the significance, and I'm so glad that it's still there at Citi Field and whatnot, but the significance of the Shea Apple, because that my first game I attended, for whatever reason, that was the first thing that caught my eye. It was the Shea Apple, and I was like, what is that? I didn't understand.
Now, if you keep that up for a second, because I do. Somebody wrote that they really miss Shea Stadium. I do too. I mean, but if you look at the apple, right? It looks like some kid's 8th grade science project.
Yeah,
because now it's so pristine. Well, because the Mets, they were looking for a hook. They were looking for something, and the apples just was perfect because the Big Apple, it was just home run. I mean, it was great, and
and when you look at the photo of the new, the one at Citi Field, it's like it ate the other apple, like it's twice the size. And what do you call it? Yep. And I see Eileen is in agreement with Piano Man as well as Ed there. With the harmonica, has to have the harmonica. That's the key for sure. Got to have the harmonica. But yeah, so the apple, of course, those that don't know, obviously hit a home run, the apple goes up. I've seen the apple get stuck before, but the newer apple I've seen it go up way too many times for the opposing team. Never saw a lot of home runs by the home team there. At least one of the games that I went to.
So here's my question. Maybe one of our watches and knows this. Serious question. When the Yankees had to play at Shea, when something happened at Yankee Stadium, I think something fell. Remember, there was like a week, 2 weeks, they had to play at Shea. When the Yankees hit a home run, did the apple go up?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't
But I
know.
could be
Yeah,
wrong.
see, I don't think so either, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, and let us. Yeah, definitely let us know if you know more than we do. Let us know. But I don't think so. I would be surprised if that was the case. And Mount Rushmore. Yeah. Okay. Let me see here. I wanted to get my notes here. Okay, so we talked about the apple, and I'm getting hearing space sounds here. But this photo here, and I'm going to pull this one up, of course. Let me get that here. So this one here, the significance here of this is the home run that Mike Piazza hit after September 11th, 2001. I don't remember if it was it was the first game back, right, at Shea at the time?
It was the first game back, yes.
Okay. I'm trying to find out where that music's coming from. It came out of nowhere. You hear it on your end?
No.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm losing my mind. No, it's a cool little vibe, but it's that was not there a few minutes ago. But what do you call it? But yeah. So anyway, so getting back to that, with the 911.
Oh, I remember this. Okay, I got to stop you because I got the answer from our friend AI.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember now that I'm reading this. I remember this. So here's what they did. Yes, the Shea Stadium home run apple went up for a Yankee home run, but only halfway. And it
only halfway. That's what it says.
Yeah, it did. It only went up halfway. In a memorable 1998 game, when the Yankees played there, former Met Darryl Strawberry hit a homer, and stadium staff partially raised it in honor of him before lowering it again, creating a unique half apple moment. That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I get it. That's pretty cool to me, Daily.
I love the laugh track.
What if it was a different team? It was Atlanta team. It's gotta
Probably it would have been nah.
Yeah. But yes, Piazza was meant to get back to that home run. Piazza was meant to hit that home run. And
what do you remember most of that home run?
Was that home run like the first game back with it, or?
Oh, your microphone's a little off.
Microphone's off. Okay. I think it's this weird. I'm hearing on my end this weird sound effect.
No, you just sound a little low, but I can hear you. But go ahead. What were you going to say? What do you remember most of that home run?
But go ahead and talk about that home run while I try to adjust it.
Sure. So here's what I remember most. I remember the call by Howie Rose the most. When I mean, Mike just crushed this ball, and it just was so gone. And Howie goes, "I think it's got a chance." This has got a chance, is what he said. I'm like, are you kidding me? This thing would have been a home run in old Yankee Stadium. Would have been a home run in the Polo Grounds. Maybe not. That was 600 and something feet to dead center. But it was forever. And I was like, what do you mean? It's not a wall scraper. That thing was a shot. And it felt so good to be able to cheer about something for the first time in a week. It was so important. And it was great. And it was great that it was against the Braves. And the Braves, say what you want about them, they're a classy team. And they bought into it. It was great.
That's awesome. And again, I find the source of history sound that I'm hearing. I'm not it's just it seems like it's getting louder. So I don't know. So let me know again in the chat if you can. If not hear what I'm hearing. But it's kind of silly. But the show must go on. So next thing I wanted to go over here in terms of Shea Stadium. Go ahead and throw on the screen for you guys. So of course the iconic neon signs. So that was something, of course, much more appealing to night games during the day, that sort of thing. But this one here, this wasn't the only one they had on there, but it's like the first thing you notice, especially as a kid, when you're walking to the stadium, seeing those neon signs. So your thoughts on that? And I say the word iconic, but it really was. It was really cool.
Yeah, this was again one of those things that it seemed like all of a sudden it was there. And it wasn't there, it was just blue. And then all of a sudden they were there, they looked very cool. But I was like, who Gremlins came in the middle of the night and did this? How did this happen? But yeah, it was different. What I want to know is, when did they take those asbestos shields off, whatever they were? Remember, there used to be big squares all over the outside of Shea Stadium, so people didn't fall out, and they got rid of those. But yeah, I used to like the lights. It was kind of cool. Like
it's cool, and I should be back to normal now. There was a backup on a different Google tab that was playing some weird commercial background noise, and that's what was going on.
Oh, there you go.
We're back to normal here. So getting back into to the neon signs and whatnot. And I loved how it wrapped around the stadium. You had different I don't know how many exactly there were, but the catcher one to me was the most popular, that kind of thing.
Oh, I agree.
So of course here, there's things that you see at the stadium, but you have to get to the stadium. And when you get to the stadium, those that remember stadium train number 2, because it was I was able to go a few times via subway, but obviously the photo doesn't do it justice. It looks grimy, it looks dirty, all that good stuff. But that was the best way to get to the game. You just
without question.
It's part of the experience. Yeah,
you got to take that 7 train. You just got to. And where we lived, it was easy. You take one of the IRT lines, the 2, the 4, up, and then you take the 7, and the 7 takes you to Shea Stadium. Couldn't be easier.
Yep, couldn't be easier. Ed says, "Why did I sleep in the parking lot?" I just wanted to make sure I got a ticket for the game. That if it's a hot ticket for sure. And then On Deck for Christ says, "I've been to Shea 2 times, so that's cool. It's an awesome experience." I can't tell you how many times I've been. I know it was probably in the teens, if I had to say. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you guys think of Shea Stadium, from your experience, what you shared. But
Shea Stadium was a no-frill stadium. I mean? There was no wonderful food court. There was no anything.
So here we go. This is, you mentioned food. So the Grand Central Grill. Do you remember this?
No.
Okay. So this is where the concession stand was at. I'm sure it probably said things like hot dog, popcorn, Cracker Jack. I don't think there was any.
That's it. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. And I probably the ketchup and mustard were just red and yellow. If I remember.
That's all. And how many people accidentally on purpose might have toyed with it? It's a nice way to put it. And there's no Nathan's. They had Schick House Franks, remember? And I sent Schick House guys. They had Schick House. They had the ones in the pack. Well, you wouldn't get the ones in the package, in the hallway there. But they had 1 or 2 seasons where they had packaged hot dogs, from the vendors.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it just looks like an atmosphere where you'd go in the 3rd inning and you wouldn't get back to the 6th inning.
No, you never would. No, it's horrible.
No. Now, do you remember the walkway?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
yeah,
and dangerous.
Yes, just a little. I don't think I'd be getting Eileen with me to through this walkway. We'd be going up a different way. But again, part of the experience, that sort of thing, of course. But it's pretty wild to see how this thing wraps around and that sort of thing.
It had that wonderful look of somebody on one side of it asking for a cake with a file in it.
Yes, lost at Shea. And then Ed mentions they dropped the tree off at your house and went to the ballpark. I'm waiting for the game. Now, of course, along with the train station, along with the walkway, have to talk about the Shea Bridge as well. Got to talk about the Shea Bridge there. Again, just another part of the whole experience. Not the most beautiful looking piece of architecture there, but it worked for the time. But yes, they had a little hamburger smaller than White Castle. I couldn't find the photo of that, but I saw an article about almost saying that basically the exact same thing. And I'm sure it was probably more reasonably priced back then in 90. Now, I believe it was 2008, correct? That was the last year of Shea Stadium.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I think Eileen.
I miss it terribly.
Eileen would be going on the Shea elevator, but not the Shea Bridge. I think that would be the way to go there. I don't think the Shea Bridge would work out too well for you. But yeah, so moving along. Also, the colors, the iconic colors here, the orange and the blue.
Yes.
So, that's something that, yes, sometimes bigger is better and all that stuff. And even taking all the nostalgia away that was Citi Field, like a new stadium with the colored seats still would have been fun. Like, I felt like that would have let at least people feel more like they're not losing Shea Stadium. They're getting a newer Shea Stadium. Would have been cool if they were able to incorporate that a little bit more. But
I agree. Whoever came up with the decision to change those seat colors when they put the new seats in was very smart. I mean, look at that. That's beautiful.
It really is. Like, that's, and I honestly remember, Darren, I'm sure you do, and Mom, I saw you still on there. I had in my bedroom at the time, I had the Mets blue on the wall, right, with the orange, and it was something else. I don't remember how long I had it for, but back on East, what was it?
East 32nd Street.
32nd Street, yeah.
Yep.
And I think I shared with you in one of the previous episodes, I was in a high school class with a girl named Casey, and we were going around the room just introducing ourselves. And not only was she from Brooklyn, but she lived on the exact same block, like 9 houses down.
That's crazy.
I was like, and this is in Palm Bay, Florida, of all things. But yes, when you made the room blue and orange, I don't remember how long we had the room blue and orange, but it was a sight. That was for sure. I wish I still had the photo. I had some photos of like me with the old Mets jackets and things like that, and went 3 times too big and stuff like that. But
I miss the old Mets jacket, by the way. I wish they'd bring it back. It was a good.
Yes,
it was a good jacket.
It was. And of course, the last one I have here. There's so many more, but I just wanted to grab the most. But this kind of encapsulates, of course, the 86, the walk. When Mookie Wilson scores and the whole situation with Bill Buckner and the ground ball, missed ball at first base, and all that kind of stuff. Everyone looks at the 86 game 6 as the game, but there were games in that series with Houston that they had no business probably getting out of, and with their starting pitcher that they had over there, and so they almost didn't even make it to the series with Boston, and then of course they lost games 1 and 2 to Boston,
which is amazing, and they lost 1 and 2 at home.
At home, yep.
I went to game 2. It was terrible.
Yeah. Oh, you did go to game 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Was that a blowout or like a 9-3?
Yeah. Dwight could have got lit up. And I think we lost 8-5, and it wasn't that close, 8-6. But
yeah, that's right.
It was. But
now
Danny Heat made the last out.
That's right. Okay, that's right. And Eileen says, I think navy, blue, and white is the way to go. No, it's not the way to go. That's the wrong way to go. Now, those that don't know too, back in the day too, well, not the entire run of Shea Stadium, but the Jets actually played there as well, correct?
I was going to say that.
Yeah. Yep. And it's funny because if you Google New York Jets in Shea Stadium, like it's like people, there's very few that you could find without really digging, surprisingly. But yeah, they used it. They also wound up using it for more than just. I think they also had other sporting events and stuff like that that took it. But really, so they had different rock shows and that sort of thing. But really, it was the Jets were there from 64 to 83, and the Mets were there from 64 to 2008. And you can still buy seats to Shea Stadium. I think they're going for $599 to $899 per seat online if that's your thing. Yes, you do still have my Mets jacket. I don't think it would fit me today, but
give it a go.
Yes, I've got to. Well, next time I'm over there, I got to take a look, see at that, and take a photo. I'll try it on, see what happens. But
so a couple of things. The Jets did play there, and I had season tickets for the Jets there. They were phenomenal. It was wonderful. It was wonderful watching the game there. The place rocked. The wind, and it was nasty, and nobody would want to go there. It was kind of because a lot of times you played into the infield, and it just was janky, but in a wonderful way. It was Shea Stadium. It was our stadium. I saw Mark Gastineau there, Joe Klecko there. As you know, Joe Willie played there. It was just some great Jet memories. And then I took the season tickets over to the Meadowlands. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And do you know the best part? So the lower box seats, they were on wheels. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
So it would be like this, right? So early in the season, it would be like this. And then the dugouts and stuff would be closed up. And then they were able to move first and third base like this. And then the outfield wall, they would put some seats. And then so they made it look more like a football field.
And so this is where.
So go back to the picture. Seriously, go back to the picture of Shea Stadium.
The original.
With the multicolors?
Was that the. Hold on. Was that the one? This one here?
No, not that one. Keep going. The one that had Dwayne Gooden pitching, or one of the pitchers. They showed the different colors.
Oh, let me see here if I still have that one on here. Let's see.
Not that one. Okay, so look. So see the orange seats?
Yes.
See where it starts to raise? Under there were big wheels, literally big wheels, and and see how under where it says "Welcome to Shea Stadium," it's concrete.
Yes, right there. Okay.
Right. So it would move to there.
Okay.
So that concrete would be gone. It was amazing. Okay. It was amazing, and it was so weird. And
oh, cool! Yeah,
it was great. It was great. And I was able to go under there one time and see the wheels. It's
that's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm surprised. I love knowing that there's something you didn't know about that. That's awesome. That's cool. Now I do have one more to show you guys before we talk about the last topic that I want to go. Yes, and Ed, exactly. They could not beat Mike Scott. Didn't he pitch in 3 games that series with Houston, I believe? Or if he didn't start all 3, he appeared in 3. But I remember watching because I have the DVD box set of the Astro series and the Red Sox series, and like he was such a beast. I remember back then, but I was so young, of course. So going back and seeing how amazing and good Mike Scott was is pretty incredible. But the last picture I want to show here, the iconic scoreboard. It was really cool for its time for sure, but the scoreboard for Shea Stadium was something else. I remember that just catching my eye.
The best.
The whole game,
best,
my eyes would go to that. And yes, it was. This helped me with because back in the day I was young enough I would keep the score and all that kind of stuff. And I just remember always looking at that scoreboard just in awe. It was awesome. So
yeah.
But so I do want to ask you your opinion here. We're talking about Shea Stadium, so a little bit of Mets talk here for just a moment. So our guy, the most recent Hall of Famer for the New York Mets, good old number 12 himself, that made the Hall of Fame. He, rightfully so, is going in as a New York Met. There you got Mr. Bear right there going in as a New York Met. But Jeff Kent was elected, is going in as a San Francisco Giant. So are you surprised with that decision, or was that to be expected?
No. I mean, that's where he was. I mean, it was nice that he played for the Mets, But I lived, as you know, 16 years out in California. He really made his bones with the Giants. He was hitting in front of or behind Barry Bonds. He'll probably say some nice things about the Mets, but I won't lose sleep over that. And without going on a tangent, I'm still bewildered about the fact that he goes in. And by the way, I think it's nice that he went in, but he goes in before Dale Murphy or Don Mattingly. Just is like weird to me. But I'm not surprised he's going in as a Giant because he had some great years with them. 40 home runs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, no, same here. Not to expect. Now, do you remember? I think it was one of our earlier podcasts. We had a guest on, and he was sharing his experience when he was interviewing Jeff Kent in the locker room. And I think Jeff Kent got a little bit aggressive and kind of shoved him up against the lockers. And I remember that individual talked most of the podcast, but it was still a fun conversation. But if you remember that one exactly,
I know exactly what it was.
But yeah, so that was an interesting story because that wasn't the first, and I was sharing in a text he'd sent as well. He was known to get in some kerfuffles with some other individuals, so he's not a saint, into the Hall of Fame or anything like that. But definitely deserve when you think second baseman all time. He's not top 3 or anything like that, but there's been some names that were like, I don't know, this guy. I think for that position, of course, it's rightfully so, and I think it was just a matter of time before that happened. So I'm not sure when the ceremony, when the next election is, but was there anyone? I just happened to see that before I got on. Was there anyone else on this ballot elected in, or?
Carlos Delgado missed it by 3 votes. They needed to get 12 votes. He got 9. And I was surprised. I had the list, and now I can't find the list of other people that did not get enough votes. Let me look this up quick. Yeah, Carlos Delgado vote breakdown.
And On Deck for Christ says he lived in Queens for a little while. That's pretty cool. And those that, we've been talking obviously about Shea Stadium, but those that have not been to Citi Field, they do have like a little area basically kind of replicating some of Shea Stadium's highlights and stuff. They believe they do have a replica like of the Shea Bridge and other things like that. So it's not, they still try to pay honor and pay tribute as best they could there. I still prefer not. I'm taking, and this is 100%. You could disagree with me. I'm taking the fandom out of it, but Shea Stadium, Citi Field over New Yankee Stadium. New Yankee Stadium, not a bad place to be or anything like that, but it feels more like a museum, and it's great to pay homage and stuff like that. But I don't get the same sense from the original Yankee Stadium as I do New Yankee Stadium. So I'm definitely a Citi Field guy over. So even though we miss Shea Stadium, not a bitter fan over here, but I would take Citi Field over the new Yankee Stadium.
So would I.
Yeah. Barry Bonds cannot be voted on again to 2032 or something like that. That's probably around the same year Bobby Bonilla will still be getting paid around that time. So
explain to me. So let me, if I can read this, and those who are watching, please comment if you want. So Ken receives 14 votes, 87%, clearing the 12 needed out of 16 people that could vote. Carlos Delgado finished with 9 votes, while Dale Murphy and Don Mattingly received only 6 votes.
Ooh, what? 6 votes?
Yep. And then Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Gary Sheffield, and Fernando Valenzuela all received fewer than 5 votes.
Okay. I mean,
and now they won't. Now the Contemporary Baseball Era Committee won't consider more players until 2029. There's a 3-year era committee cycle. So yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So yeah, good stuff. I think that Mattingly, out of even we know what Bonds did and whatever he's accused of, all that kind of stuff. But Mattingly, 6% of the vote. I'm just kind of really blown away by that.
I am too. Dale Murphy, same thing.
Yeah.
Look, Ed. Not speaking for Ed, myself, you.
I guess it's because
we're not fans, but the truth is we're baseball fans, and the fact that it's a disgrace that Mattingly got 5 votes.
If you took 500 people that may not be diehards like myself and you and Ed and Tom and stuff like that, but that were not like only go to a game because someone gave them a free ticket. Like I'm talking about 500 fans of the game that watch 30 games a year, and you told them, oh yeah, I'm going to see some Hall of Famers, Don Mattingly, and I don't think a single person would stop you and go, wait, Don Mattingly's not a Hall of Famer. Like you just assume that he's in or is gonna be in. If you didn't, I think most people would think he is in already. For me. And he says, yeah, Barry Bonds and Jeff Kent. So, and it's just, he came so close. Blue Jays are stacking it up though, even though it's still early on. I still feel like there's some more moves to be made. They're definitely going for it early and quick for next year, and good for them. And what they accomplished this season. But yep, and the olden days, Jeff McNeil and Francisco Lindor. It's really more and more is coming out about this situation. They're still kind of keeping things confidential, but it really does feel, and Ed alluded to this in some text, back in the day or a couple weeks ago as well, with that whole Brandon Nimmo trade and everything, or deal and everything like that. It really is seeming more and more that there was some sort of directive like, hey, your plan is going to be first base or this, and that's not my position. Not only, and I think it's an unfair assessment of Brandon Nimmo too, because it's almost coming across like he wasn't willing to play first base. I still got time. I could still play outfield. I think it was out of respect to Pete Alonso. Like, no, that's his position.
I absolutely think that's
and
I think the Mets would be foolish to let Pete Alonso leave. Foolish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because if you thought that the Mets were stacked, when I say you, meaning all of us, based on who? You hope Vientos was going to come back. You hope that McNeil was going to get his old form. And none of that happened, and the pitching was lousy. And one of the only few people who really was out there every day busting his butt was Alonso. And you want to get rid of that? It's foolish is the right word, by the way. # foolish. Absolutely right.
Yep, definitely. And I really think he came off so poorly in this, and it's just, I think he was at peace. He had DeGrom there, and he was just, yes, he wants to be a Met. I'm sure if you asked him in closed doors, he'd still want to be a Met today. But if that was, if what happened, and it truly did, and he was there trying to improve on defense, and to say that, and I've said this before, but to say that this was done because they can't just put the same unit out there, like, okay, no, they can't just put the same unit out there, but they should have said we can't put the same bullpen out there, and we can't put the same starting pitchers out there. We can't put the same. Brandon Nimmo, the only negative to his game was he shouldn't be batting fourth in the lineup. I said
absolutely. He's a 1 or 2 hitter, maybe a 6, not a 4.
Soup Bead, probably eating some good soup. He probably on spot point. I think McNeil will also be traded. It's awkward seeing some stuff. You're seeing, one day you're hearing, stuff with Lindor and Soto. The next day you hear Lindor and McNeil had this. It's just constantly, and Lindor's name lately has kind of been thrown through the mud a little bit about how he's not been getting along with some people. I don't know. But I think I do. I just can't see, like, because the way that they talked about McNeil after the trade, they were basically saying like he's going to be a part of this team. So unless a better deal comes along, like, I don't know, Stern seems like he wants to keep him and he's not sure where he's going to fit in, but we shall see. Yes. But
I don't understand the hate for Lindor that some people have, and they'll put up with him a little bit. But the guy, he's another guy. He plays every day. He plays hurt. He's clutch. Just leave him alone and let him be the leader that he is.
Yeah.
Just don't understand it.
Yep. So I don't know. But the time has come. We had a quick, or as our quickest hour in sports conversation. That's one thing we said during the parade was that we were one of the best sports the most fun sports conversation you're going to find. Sure, we can sit here and we probably will at some point. We could sit here and analyze which team this free agent's going to go to, that free agent's going to go to. But it's in my opinion, it's much more fun to tell these kind of stories and share those kind of things and
exactly.
that sort of stuff.
This is the way real people speak.
Yes, right. And this is a major league record 48 pitcher. And then Eileen says, for the amount of money they make, they should all get along. Yes, that would be ideal. But yeah, you're right. We talk about some things and a little bit differently than others. So we have seen an uptick. I don't have the exact number, but early signs that with the flyers that we passed out at the parade, that there's a very good chance that by tomorrow or the day after, we could actually reach that 3,500 mark, which would be super, super cool.
Oh, that'd be great.
So I'll keep you guys posted, of course, on social media, but we just hit 3,451. And it seems like they're coming in pretty quickly. So hopefully we'll get to that 3,500 number by, if not by tomorrow, by the end of the year. Is definitely reasonable. And of course, as you know, as we said at the Christmas extravaganza, we were in a prime spot. There is no reason why we cannot hit that number. Everyone that throws the ball's got to subscribe first. So super, super excited. We have a great spot. And I've also got t-shirts being made as well for our team. So it's going to be so much fun. Really, really serious. Really, really awesome. But yes, Eileen, 3,500. We're at 3,451 right now, but looking at the numbers and how things go, I think by tomorrow or the end of the week, I think we can get to that 3,500. So we're almost there. Super cool. Thanks for the support. Everybody, for your likes, your subscribes. Even if you're not watching with us live, you go ahead and the next day and you catch up. We appreciate it. Super, super cool. So the next time, of course, that we will be live will be this Thursday, the 11th. We'll be live here again. And we are going to, on Thursday night, we're going to talk about a little bit of NFL action on Thursday. We're going to keep the sports talk up. And whether or not we have a guest or not, but on Thursday, I thought it'd be fun, kind of dive a little bit. We're going to go ahead and talk about the Tennessee Titans on Thursday evening. So we'll dive into them just a little bit and what's going on with their season, a little bit of history, a little fun stuff with them. So make sure you're here. Tennessee Titans, we'll be talking about this coming Thursday, November the 10th on the episode. And then, of course, December 11th. And then, of course, we'll be live next week as well, getting that much closer to next Saturday, the 20th. For the extravaganza. So thank you so much for being a part of this podcast. Please make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you're here on Thursday. We're going to have some fun talking Tennessee Titans football. Until then, guys, we will see you around the ballpark.